Over 40 years ago, a young girl, hidden away in an Amsterdam attic, chronicled her thoughts and fears as a war raged on outside. Anne Frank spoke and wrote about human dignity, about freedom and peace. Today, her writings, together with over 800 photographs, can be seen at the Boston Public Library through May 4th. As Marcus Jones reports, Anne Frank was but one of many children of war.
Anne Frank, the little girl whose personal diary has become etched in public consciousness. The Jewish teen whose flight from war and intolerance continues to this day in this touring exhibit, now on display at the Boston Public Library.
So a lot of the people you asked about who caused this to happen, they were brought to trial, and they're still being brought to trial.
These photographs from the Frank family album are as expressive as the poignant words Anne left behind, the thoughts she meticulously wrote down more than 40 years ago as she and 7 other friends and family members hid from Nazi death squads in German-occupied Holland.
I remember very clearly suddenly having to wear a yellow star. And I remember very clearly suddenly being separated. I was within a group. I was the group of Jews that people had to shun from.
Zezette Larsen survived the Holocaust, and she was a friend of Anne Frank in Amsterdam before the Frank family went into hiding.
We were playmates. We were born the same year, and we played together. We laughed together. I survived. She did not. It's the story of Anne Frank, but it's the story of discrimination. That it's discrimination against Jews, against blacks, against Cambodians, against all people. And the lessons we can learn about what can happen if people are not aware of what's happening in the world.
Sponsored by the group Facing History and ourselves, these photographs of the Frank family and of the period dominated by Hitler's Third Reich are meant to jar the memory and the senses. They are, for those who lived then, and for those yet to come, a witness to perverse cruelty, testimony to the excesses of bigotry allowed to go unchecked.
I thought that this is only thing happened to only me, only my country. And when I've learned, it's quite surprised when I've learned about Jewish Holocaust, Armenian genocide, and all over the world, suffer today. And I realized that the common theme we shared.
For 21-year-old Chorn, the message of Anne Frank is still as relevant today as the day she died in a Nazi concentration camp. He is also a survivor of a more recent Holocaust.
People kill each other every day. That's what my life is all about, seeing the killing every day, sleeping with blood.
In Cambodia, where the Khmer Rouge systematically slaughters men, women, and children, Arn managed to escape death, but many of his friends and family did not.
Sometimes I feel I don't know why I'm living for. I don't have anybody to live for. And it's something like that adults, I just want to tell adults to stop fighting each other, stop tearing each other apart. Because it's not a good example for kids. Kids going to learn that very fast. Like me, I've been learning how to kill, how to hate. I've never felt love before. And I'm glad I can learn it again here. I'm glad I can change.
The organizers of the Anne Frank exhibit say the success of this presentation rests not on its ability to provide answers, but to raise questions about what's being done now to prevent Anne's story from happening again. For the 10 o'clock news, I'm Marcus Jones.
That's our news. I'm Dale Harris. Thank you for joining us. Good night.